This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with drummer Tyler Flemming, guitarist Doug Lane, and vocalist Tom Noir of the gothic heavy metal act October Noir. If I knew absolutely nothing about October Noir, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Shit. If you like the sounds of shit, please check us out.
Yeah, just
No,
like that South Park episode.
yeah, I think the typo label comes naturally with the territory. So I think if people were gonna ask and that's what happens. A lot of people say, hey, what bands are like typo negative that are out there? So you get a name drop from that.
Did you guys start off as a typo negative tribute band and then start doing originals, or do you just
No.
influenced by the band that's how the sound came out?
Yeah. The whole point of this band was to kind of play in the same swimming pool as what those guys had started or generated, because there really was nothing like that before them, and then there wasn't anything after either. So even the bands that have suggested, a lot of Kenny's new bands or Johnny's new bands, people try to say, yeah, go listen to them. It's close enough. No, it's not. They're doing things very, very differently. So
October Noir has been around since 2017. Doug, how did you end up meeting up with Tom to get this project going?
I actually came in right before the second album was released. I was in another band I was in a death metal band down here. So, big surprise, Florida. And like I was in kind of like a down season with that project, and I was a hired gun, like playing with several other bands, and one of them, Dark Con of Man. They recently lost their guitar player, and I was helping them get through the summer while they get a permanent member. So I was just playing with them live. We met at a place called the Celtic Irish Pub, Pascagoula, Mississippi, and we played a mutual show there, and that's where I met Tom. And the very next day, I joined the band.
Tom, was this the first band you put together, or had you been in other bands prior to this one?
no, I was in a band early 2000s, like 2004. It lasted maybe a year or two or so. But I've always played music. But no, this was like the actual first band that I did, because when I did the first album, I didn't think it was going to do anything, but it started getting some pretty good traction. So I was like, well, shit, I guess I need to call some people up, figure out who we could bring in, and go start playing some shows. So it's just kind of grown since then.
Is the band name an homage to Typo Negative's October Rust?
No, not at all. And a lot of people, have accused us of that, or they assume that, but it's not. It was what popped in my mind was kind of an autumn black, but it sounded too I don't know, like a black metal thing, or something a little cliche. So I just wanted something that painted the idea of the fall and of Halloween, but it was also elegant in darkness. So yeah, October Noir was primed
Wanted
from
it to
that.
sound like a cologne.
So when it comes to the songwriting, does everybody contribute to lyrics, or Tom, do you handle the lyrics? Doug works on the music. How's the dynamic there?
No, yeah, I do all the lyrics. A lot of, well, damn near everything I write is all personal to me. So yeah, I don't let anybody kind of stem in from that one. I think the closest that even came to that was working with Nadia on that Forever Haunt song. I know she wrote her verse for that one, but yeah, instrumentally, I mean, it kind of is primed off of what I do, just because something might pop into my head lyrically or vocally, and you have to write around that. But we all try to contribute in areas where it's needed to complete a song.
Yeah, it's like everything that the rest of us contribute to the songwriting is kind of like gas in the tank for Tom. In order to maintain a consistent sound, we really got to have someone at the helm that's the common filter for all of these ideas. And Tom has a very clear vision of where he wants to go with everything. So we come up with ideas, we contribute to arrangements, but at the end of the day, it's Tom that gives the go ahead for everything.
Your latest album, it's your fourth studio album. It was released on September 22nd. It's called Letters to Existence. You described the album as covering topics from loss, pain, love, death, spirituality. Is this a concept album?
I mean, I think every album is a concept. It all stems off of an idea, but I mean, not necessarily. It's just whatever kind of comes out. Yeah, I don't know. I just, as long as each song has kind of its own little seating, then I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of view a concept album is it's usually portraying an overarching story. And being that all of these songs are written from Tom's personal experiences, I guess if you knew him well enough, you can consider that a concept album because it's all about his life. And we all share in that. So by extension, a lot of it is the life of the band. But I wouldn't really say it's a what you would traditionally consider a concept album, but it just depends on how much you know about the deep lore of the band.
Well, the only reason I kind of focused in on that is because I noticed this sort of season thing. It starts off with spring, in the middle we hit summer, at the end we hit winter. So it's I thought it was some sort of experience over, the 3 seasons.
It wasn't developed that way per se. So a lot of what happens, you might not find. And I know I was going for like a particular song where it was abbreviated. It was Saul's is what it was called. But it was supposed to scale across, the 4 different seasons. So there was a lot of change within the song itself. So it was kind of decided last minute to split them all up in the different seasons itself. And then it was like, well, let's just run with that idea of kind of motioning through the season. So as that led into the breakdown of the list, I tried to find what songs kind of fit in those areas a little bit more.
Tyler, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties over here.
Zoom is quite terrible. I understand.
Masturbation is not a difficulty, sir.
Well, as soon as I logged in, my whole computer shut down. So I don't know what that's about.
Well,
Thanks for tossing out the tissues.
Tyler, why don't I bring you in the conversation by asking how you ended up joining the band?
I ended up joining the band. I saw them live, and I really their drummer at the time wasn't the.
And you were mad. You were mad. Just tell the truth.
Mad. I was mad because I'm like, holy crap, man! Here's a band that's playing the music that I wish that I could be playing around here. And eventually things fizzled out with our old drummer, and I just came right on in.
You weren't tied up with like 6 other bands like every drummer in rock and roll?
I was playing with 2 or 3 other bands on and off, but nothing super serious. I think because even when these guys had mentioned wanting a new drummer, that there was an opening, the bass player in my old band, he's like, there you go. So they already kind of knew that I would make a shift.
So you guys have released 2 singles from Letters to Existence, Endless Lonely and Forever Haunt. Is it difficult kind of cherry picking songs that you want to put out as a single versus, growing up, you listen to the whole album?
So this is the first time we actually decided to pull singles from the album. Typically what we do is we'll put an album out and then we'll just do some covers, 1 or 2 on the in-between. But yeah, just kind of the unknown direction of the band at the time. We were like, well, this might be a good idea to put this out there because it's probably going to be, the best songs on the album. But I don't know. It's weird. This is our first time doing it. I don't know. I don't think it was a bad choice. We did that with the
last album, didn't we?
No.
Like Windows and Effigy. Like,
We had music. Well, Effigy had a music video after the album was released. We did the music video for Windows before the actual release of the song, but you can't consider it a single because we didn't. Yeah, we didn't release it to buy. We just put the music video out.
Did you guys record the album in the same room, or do you record separately and kind of piece it all together?
Yeah, no, it's all in the same room.
In a studio, or do you have like a home recording thing?
Yeah, it's like a little home studio set up.
You released the album on your own, correct?
Yes.
Have you tried shopping any of your albums to labels?
Oh, we had one label contact us. It was a pretty good deal. I know the only thing I really didn't care too much for was the 7-year contract that came with it. I was like, that's a little extensive. So, I typically don't like messing with labels too much. Most of them, then they're not really. Well, it's just not what it used to be. So, I don't really see a point when we're able to do everything independently.
You have some type of distribution deal with Corpse Paint Records?
So Corpse Paint is a good friend. I don't know what's going to come out of that. We'll see it. Yeah, we're not going to speak too much on it, but we'll see what happens.
You guys have this album available digitally and through CD, which I assume that you're selling at your shows and through your website. Is the option of vinyl on the table? It's sort of making its comeback these days.
Tyler, you answer that one. You already know.
So we would love nothing more than to do vinyl, but the cost is outrageous. And I've always told the guys that one of the biggest reasons that I would even like to be on a label is just for vinyl distribution and distribution on its own. So it's not too far. It's not out of our grip, but it's not very likely unless there's a label behind it. It's just too expensive.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel right about charging people, 50, 60 fucking dollars for a vinyl.
Prices for vinyl are getting out of hand. I mean, when they were $25, it was great. And now it's $50 for an album that's been out for 40 years. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yep. We'd have to do the same thing. I'm not comfortable with it.
It's good.
I think CD sounds better anyways.
Yeah, but now CD players are going the way of the dinosaur.
No, I know. I mean, brand new vehicles, you can't even get them anymore. No more CD players in them.
All right, my truck doesn't have one.
Yep.
Oh, you can still burn them, I guess.
Yeah, but why do that? Everybody can just use Spotify and iTunes and use an aux cord or Bluetooth.
So you guys recently had some live shows. I saw that you went through New York. Doug, was there a particular show that stood out to you?
I think probably everyone in the band will tell you 89 North was probably the best show that we went over there. A good friend of ours, we actually met a couple of years prior at the Peachtree Memorial in Brooklyn at Prospect Park. Bill Hale was a bouncer, and he got us in to that show. And it's just insane going to a different part of the country and meeting friends that you haven't seen in a while. Just people who like you've only seen online, like talking on social media and everything like that, seeing people in person. There were so many people that we actually got to meet in person, and that was a really good experience. I think 89 North, definitely.
Tyler, would you agree with that? 89 North was the most memorable of the gigs? Lost him.
No.
Yeah, if you're talking any gig, I'm gonna have to go with opening for Gary Newman at the Vinyl. No, that was probably the most memorable. But as far as the New York shows went, yeah, 89.
Yeah, if we're opening up to that, definitely opening for Gary Newman.
Tyler, your mic's out. I don't know if you can
hear it. Yeah, I see that.
All right.
Sorry, I have like the worst. I don't know if it's allergies or sinuses or something, but I've been dealing with that all day. Yeah, the Gary Newman show was the best show that we've ever played. Setting up in Brooklyn was especially difficult for me. I think I used about 4 dudes pieces from 4 guys' drum sets to make that drum set complete.
Now tell them what you had to do to get those pieces for the drum kit.
Well, I pulled a lot of the cymbal stands. I actually pulled out of a trash can behind the
Tell them what
stage.
you really had to do.
I didn't have to do anything risque. Luckily, everybody was really nice up there. So,
did you guys get to meet Gary and chit chat for a little while, or was it just business?
I got to be backstage and kind of sit with him for a minute. He was kind of busy for the most part. His guitar player, super nice guy. He liked us a lot. So I talked to him probably more than anything.
I feel like that would be a good cover song for you guys. Cars?
Yeah, we thought about it.
Yeah, I almost played it on the bass when we were up there, but I was like, it might be a little bit too. It might stab some people the wrong way, so let's not do it.
If I'm not mistaken, New York is typo negative country, so I'm assuming that I would guess that fans are clamoring for that particular sound because it's been a while since they've heard it.
A lot of them are, yeah. A lot of them find us, and they're very happy with what we're doing. So yeah. It was both of those shows were really good nights.
I know you got 4 albums under your belt. Have you heard from any of the surviving members of Typo Negative?
No, they know of us, but I've never bothered to reach out. I don't think they'd really give a shit. I probably wouldn't give a shit either, knowing who they are. But no, I don't think they care. I mean, they don't say anything positive nor negative. So
you guys have a show coming up, the 2nd annual Vampire in Paris Masquerade Ball. What is this all about?
So I guess locally here they're doing a Vampire the Masquerade Ball, which is where people can dress up and everybody goes and they have a good time drinking, eating, partying, whatever. So it's kind of in these territories, in the southern territories, I guess it's more prominent. I don't know, they do it up north too, but yeah, Doug actually picked that one up. But yeah, they heard our music and was like, do this, you have to do this. So we got the invite, which I'm happy for because I've always wanted to do the one in New Orleans. But
Doug, are you the guy that basically books the gigs, or does everybody have a hand in that?
I mean, everyone does whatever outreach that they can for the band. This one just happened to be one that I ended up picking up. But yeah, we all have a hand in doing that.
Do you guys have any other tour dates beyond that? Are you going to stay local? Are you going to try to go a little East Coast thing? What are you going to do?
Well, Friday the 13th, we're actually going to be in Phoenix for a birthday party for I think it's Kay Voorhees, but it's going to be at the Blues in Phoenix. I think. Do we have any other ones on the books aside from that?
I think that's it for now. Yeah, I'm ready for the break.
Yeah, we did have quite a few more, but some of them got canceled and mismanagement somewhere down the line. Not on our part, but
we're always going to keep ourselves busy. We're planning on shooting a couple music videos for the end of the year. But yeah, as far as shows, I think that's all we got.
Well, I think that the scene is still kind of bottlenecked from the shutdowns, and everybody's trying to get their foot in the door from 2020 releases to 21 releases to 22 releases, and there's just not enough room for everybody.
Well, you deal with that. There's a lot of venue logistics where a lot of people don't necessarily want to mess with it too much. I know they want to take from these, or they want to take from merchandise cuts, which I'm not a fan of at all. So there's a lot more to it that really goes into this stuff that a lot of people on the surface just won't ever be familiar with. But it's a pain in the ass.
I noticed online, Tom, that you have this custom bass that's under construction. How far is it from being completed?
I just talked to him yesterday. It's in the process of being painted, so probably next year I'll have it.
Next year,
from the quarter. I'm not very pleased with with this, but there's a lot of money. and it should have been finished by now. Like, I've already been waiting 2 years.
It's not fun.
So, no, I'm not happy.
Tyler, do you have a piece of drum equipment that you're very fond of, brand or style?
I've got a stick endorsement with Scorpion Percussion. I enjoy them a lot. Also, actually, right over here, I haven't even played.
What are you wearing? Dad shorts?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't even played this yet, but this is a custom snare that was made for me by my wonderful stepfather, and I'm going to convince him to try and go in business and do this. This is awesome. This is it's a 13x8 snare, which you don't ever see. They're usually 13 by 6.5. So I'm really excited to play that one pretty soon.
Awesome. Doug, you got a piece of equipment that you're pretty fond of?
Well, I mean, I collect guitars.
So does Tyler.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So does Tyler, apparently.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we got so many instruments floating around here. I mean, as far as like, I know the promotion is saying that I'm the keyboard player. We recently lost our guitar player, so I'm back on guitar. But I basically play Schecter, Sun Valley Super Shredders mostly, just out of the box for this particular stuff. I'm quite partial to Ernie Ball Music Man guitars. I've got a Majesty 7, Artisan Azuro, and JP 15-7 that I quite enjoy. But for this band, it's mostly Schecter guitars.
I noticed that an indie wrestling promotion, 907 Pro Wrestling, has a wrestler down there that has adopted your song Tombstones from your album 13 that came out in 2019. His name is The Giver, Jerry Bishop. Did he just discover the song, or are you guys friends with him?
He just discovered us and hit us up and was asking if it would be possible for him to do a walkout song from us. And yeah, we just gave him the okay and the thumbs up, man. He started doing his thing. So he's brought some fan base too with him. It's been nice.
Yeah. Didn't we have another wrestler that used Burn?
Yeah, Lilith Blood, I think was her stage name.
I was gonna ask if you are wrestling fans, but coming from Florida, I think you're supposed to be by law. So, Tom, are you a wrestling fan?
No, not at all.
How about you, Tyler?
Hell yeah, I love wrestling. I was gonna mention that me and Jerry sit around and talk about wrestling all the time. So it's pretty cool, man. I still watch the old WWF and WCW's on Peacock. I was actually talking to my chick last night. I was like, I really need to watch some wrestling, and she's like, "How old are you?" I mean, it's good, clean fun. That the WWF Attitude Era, man, that's the shit.
Yeah, I got to say, as far as my exposure to WWF and WWE and everything like that, was mostly the comic books, like the Archie series, like Big Boss and the Mountie and Ultimate Warrior, like they're just their comic books. Like I never really watched the actual shows or anything like that, but I read the crap out of some of those comics.
Well, if you dig hard enough, you'll find the old cartoon that they had in the 80s too.
Oh, I forgot about that. Well, Saturday morning stuff.
Currently, my favorite thing on the internet right now is as Ric Flair, his Facebook. Apparently, he tells stories and there's like little animated cartoons of Ric Flair back in the day that go along with it. That shit is hilarious.
You know, one of the best things I think about pro wrestling, and you know, some people think it's childish and some people think it's silly, but it's still to this day has that escapism from the real world where even where politics has kind of gotten into everything, it hasn't gotten into pro wrestling. Maybe a little bit with like a story, but it hasn't infected it.
Yeah, I mean, and good on them for that too. But I think they realize what they have, and they don't want to diminish the brand from it.
And it's entertainment, and it's always been entertainment.
Yeah.
Sport is, they're I mean, it's athletic, but it's entertainment.
Correct, and that's what I tell everybody too. Because we don't produce our politics in anything either. We typically avoid it. We're entertainers. Like, don't ask me for my fucking opinion because it doesn't matter. That's one thing I hate going to shows. I see a lot of these bands get up there and they want to start fucking blabbing about their politics. I just shut the fuck up and play your music.
Absolutely. But I mean, in music, there's sort of been those bands that were, political or anti-government or pro-government or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I mean, there is a forum for that, but maybe keep it in the song.
Yeah, that's that. Well, agreed. Keep it to the entertainment. It's like Rage Against the Machine that were big, with the politics and stuff. But yeah, I don't need to hear your personal opinions. That's where I draw the line.
So, do any of you play in any other bands outside of this one at this point, Doug?
Not right now. I'm working on some solo music, but yeah, just this one band for me right now. It's enough punishment.
Tyler, are you working on anything else?
I'm not. I've thought about it. I think there was one. I don't know. I think there was one time. It was like 2 years ago that I was in my old band or my last band, and I did a show down here downtown, and I played drums for both bands that night. One was kind of like a Corrosion of Conformity Crowbar style, and then the next was like a total Cavalera Conspiracy Machine Head style. And I did it all in the same night. I will never do that shit again. But it's too much work. It's too much to pour in, and I feel like there's really not a need to pour myself into any other band than October Noir. I mean, it's kind of everything I've ever wanted to play. So it would almost be a negative for me to do that. I did have the guys in my last band hit me up about maybe doing a reunion in a few months, but I just don't have the time.
And Tom, I know October Noir is your baby, so I'm assuming this is all you do for music.
This is all I do, all I want to do, all I have time to do, and all I care about doing. So yeah, I have no time to give to anything else.
Those are all the questions I have for you today, guys. The new album, Letters to Existence, it's out now. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to let us learn more about your band and yourselves. And I wish you the best of luck going forward.
Hey, thank you, George. It was good being here, man.
Yeah, thank you.